Most aquarium problems that look like emergencies are not emergencies. They are maintenance failures that accumulated quietly over weeks until the consequences became visible. The fish that died from an unexplained illness was not unlucky. The algae outbreak that took over the tank in 2 weeks did not come from nowhere. The water that turned yellow and stopped clearing, no matter how often the filter ran, was not a mystery. Every one of those events had a precursor that was invisible at the time and would have been caught by a consistent monthly maintenance routine before it had the opportunity to become a crisis. The difference between a tank that looks effortless after 3 years and one that feels like a constant struggle is almost never the equipment or the fish selection. It is the monthly maintenance routine and whether one exists at all. Here is the complete routine, task by task, with the specific mechanism behind why each one matters. The first task is a full liquid test of all 5 core parameters before anything else is touched: ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, potential of hydrogen, and carbonate hardness. Test these before a water change, before filter maintenance, and before disturbing the substrate, because any of those actions alter the parameters being measured and produce readings that reflect the post-disturbance state rather than the actual state the tank was in for the preceding month. Fritz Aquatics documents that carbonate hardness is one of the most consistently overlooked parameters in freshwater maintenance, and that low carbonate hardness is the primary cause of the creeping potential of hydrogen instability that causes unexplained fish losses in tanks that appear otherwise healthy. A carbonate hardness reading below 3 to 4 degrees means the tank's buffer is depleted and a potential of hydrogen crash is possible without warning. The crash can happen within hours of a water change or feeding event and kills fish at a rate that looks like disease rather than chemistry. Nitrate above 20 parts per million for most freshwater community species, or above 10 parts per million for sensitive species in shrimp, means the water change schedule or the feeding discipline or both need adjustment. A potential of hydrogen reading more than 0.3 units, different from the previous month's log entry in either direction, warrants investigation before any other maintenance proceeds. Testing first produces a baseline that tells you whether anything needs to change before you begin and confirms whether last month's maintenance was working. The liquid test kit result also identifies slow trends that a single test in isolation never reveals. Nitrate that reads 18 parts per million this month and was 12 parts per million last month tells you the tank's nitrate production is outpacing the water change volume, even though both readings fall within the safe range. The second task is a deep substrate vacuum covering the entire tank floor in rotating sections. Not a surface pass, but the full insertion of the siphon tube into the substrate to extract the organic waste, uneaten food residue, and fish waste that has settled between substrate particles during the preceding month. Aquarium Guides documents that aquarium substrate collects debris and waste out of sight, often because food breaks apart before fish finish it, and that this hidden organic accumulation is the primary slow-release ammonia source that undermines water quality between regular maintenance sessions in tanks that appear well-maintained from the water column. In tanks with gravel substrate, the siphon should penetrate between the particles to extract buried organic material. In tanks with sand substrate, the siphon should skim the surface closely without disturbing the substrate bed itself. In planted tanks, Vacuum only the open areas between plants to avoid disturbing root systems. Aquarium maintenance guides document focusing the deep substrate vacuum on corners, under hardscape, and behind decorations where debris collects out of sight and is most frequently missed during weekly maintenance passes. The substrate vacuum is performed simultaneously with the monthly water change, so the water removed during vacuuming counts toward the water change volume. Vacuum 1/3 of the substrate area per session rather than attempting the entire floor at once. Rotating through the tank in thirds over 3 consecutive monthly sessions ensures the entire substrate is addressed over a 3-month cycle without any single session disturbing such a large substrate area that the bacterial community living in the substrate is significantly disrupted. In tanks using Malaysian trumpet snails as a biological substrate aerator, the snail population health can be assessed during this task. A visibly increasing snail population confirms that organic waste is accumulating faster than the cleanup community is processing it, which means feeding volume needs reduction. The third task is the monthly water change of 20 to 25% of the tank volume, performed using temperature-matched dechlorinated water. Aquarium Connection documents that regular water changes of at least 10 to 25% monthly remove accumulated organic material, nitrate, sludge, and fish waste, all of which cause water chemistry problems, excess algae growth, fish stress, disease, and fish death when allowed to accumulate beyond what weekly partial changes can dilute. The water change volume in a monthly deep maintenance session is separate from weekly partial changes, not a replacement for them. The monthly change provides a more significant dilution of dissolved organics and accumulated minerals than weekly smaller changes achieve and resets the dissolved organic baseline of the tank to a lower starting point for the following month. Add dechlorinator to the tank before refilling to neutralize chlorine or chloramine in the new water before it contacts fish. Match the temperature of the replacement water to the tank temperature within 1 to 2 degrees to prevent thermal shock. In hard tap water areas where mineral salts accumulate in the tank through evaporation replacement with non-dechlorinated top-ups, the monthly water change dilutes these accumulated minerals and prevents the gradual hardness creep that stresses soft water species over time. The fourth task is biological filter media inspection and rinsing, performed in a specific way that preserves the bacterial colony responsible for running the nitrogen cycle. Aquendium documents that the sequence of maintenance tasks matters, and that doing every task simultaneously, such as deep cleaning the filter and doing a large water change on the same day, can disturb the nitrogen cycle by removing too much bacterial capacity at once. The correct approach is to inspect biological media for flow restriction. Squeeze sponge media once gently in old tank water removed during the water change to restore flow without stripping the bacterial film, and return the media immediately to the filter. Never rinse biological media under tap water. Chlorine and chloramine in tap water kills the bacterial colony on contact, producing a filter that must reestablish its biological capacity over 4 to 6 weeks, while the tank undergoes a partial cycling event. Chemical media, such as activated carbon and cecum purigen, should be checked against their saturation schedule, typically 2 to 4 weeks for carbon and color change to dark brown for purigen, and replaced if saturated. Never replace biological and chemical media simultaneously. Stagger replacement sessions by at least 2 weeks to preserve biological capacity through every maintenance event. Saturated activated carbon that is left in the filter beyond its effective period can begin releasing adsorbed compounds back into the water column, which is the mechanism behind the observation that water quality occasionally worsens after filter maintenance in tanks where carbon has been running unchecked for months. Cecum purigen that is darkened to brown or black can be regenerated rather than replaced by soaking in a 1-to-1 bleach and water solution for 8 to 12 hours, then soaking in a cecum prime solution for 8 to 12 hours, then rinsing thoroughly. Cecum documents up to 10 full regeneration cycles from a single purigen purchase, making the effective cost per year of use negligible compared to carbon replaced on a monthly schedule. The fifth task is equipment inspection across every piece of hardware in the tank. Heater function should be confirmed against an independent thermometer reading, not the heater's own display or dial setting, because heater thermostat failure is the most common cause of catastrophic overnight tank losses, and a failed thermostat produces no visible warning before the water temperature climbs beyond the lethal threshold. Aquarium Guides documents that aquariums are slow-moving systems where equipment wears out quietly, and by the time something looks obviously wrong, the underlying problem has often been developing for days or weeks. The heater check takes 30 seconds and catches the failure before the failure costs the tank. Filter intake tubes and hoses should be inspected for algae and biofilm accumulation that reduces flow rate below the filter's rated capacity. Aquarium maintenance guides document deep rinsing of filter hoses and tubes every 3 to 4 months as part of deeper service maintenance to remove algae and debris that accumulates inside and is invisible from the exterior. Airline tubing and air stone output should be checked in aerated tanks, as mineral deposit buildup inside airline tubing restricts airflow progressively and is one of the most consistently overlooked causes of reduced dissolved oxygen in established tanks. Replace airline tubing annually rather than waiting for visible restriction. The check valve on each airline should also be tested monthly. A failed check valve allows tank water to siphon back through the airline and into the air pump during a power outage, destroying the pump motor. Power cords for all electrical equipment near the tank should run in a drip loop descending below the outlet, so any water on the cord drips off the lowest point rather than reaching the socket. Ground fault circuit interrupter outlets should be tested monthly by pressing the test button to confirm the circuit trips and the reset button to confirm it restores. These electrical checks take under 2 minutes and prevent the failures that cause both equipment loss and electrical faults near water. The sixth task is plant maintenance. Remove dead and dying leaves from any live plants, trim stem plants above the node to stimulate branching growth, remove algae from plant leaves manually if the cleanup crew has not addressed it, and remove any plant trimmings from the tank entirely rather than leaving them to decompose in the water column. Plant trimming is not a cosmetic task. Dead and deteriorating plant material releases ammonia as it decomposes, contributing to the organic load the biological filter must process, and large volumes of decomposing plant matter in an uncleaned tank can produce ammonia spikes detectable on the test kit. Removing trimmed plant material from the tank permanently exports the nitrate the plant absorbed during its growth, providing the same permanent nutrient removal function that makes emergent plants like Monstera and Pothos valuable to the tank system. Monthly plant maintenance is also the appropriate time to assess whether the plant mass in the tank has increased or decreased since the previous month. A planted tank whose plant mass is visibly declining is a tank whose nitrate management capacity is declining simultaneously because fewer plants means less biological competition for the dissolved nutrients that algae and deteriorating water quality depend on. If plant mass has declined due to low light, nutrient deficiency, or fish grazing on soft-leafed species, the water change frequency should be increased temporarily to compensate for the reduced biological nitrate uptake until plant mass can be restored. The seventh task is a maintenance log entry. Write down the test kit readings, the water change volume, any equipment issues observed, any fish behavior changes noted during the month, and the date. Caveman Aquatics documents maintaining a logbook as a core component of monthly maintenance, noting maintenance completed and anything unusual observed. The log creates a pattern over time that makes subtle changes visible before they become problems. A heater reading that is 1 degree higher than last month's log entry is not an emergency. That same reading, 3 months in a row with a consistent upward trend, is a heater that needs replacing before it fails. Nitrate that has climbed 5 parts per million above the previous month's reading, despite no stocking changes, is evidence that feeding volume has increased or plant mass has decreased, or both. Without the log, these trends are invisible. With it, they are actionable before they produce losses. The habit that makes this sustainable is simple. Under 60 minutes, the same sequence every time, on the same date, every month, whether the tank looks like it needs it or not. Aquarium problems are not single events. They are accumulated neglect that compounds gradually until a threshold is crossed and the consequence appears. Every tank that has been running cleanly for 3, 5, or 10 years is running on some version of this routine. If this video gave you the routine that keeps your tank out of the emergency category permanently, please like it and subscribe, because next week we are covering the 5 monthly maintenance mistakes that experienced hobbyists make that slowly destroy tanks they thought were well maintained.